asked, but I didn't mind. First, boy, it is great to be out of Washington, and it is great to be back with so many friends looking around this room. I can't think of a political figure, maybe anywhere in the Commonwealth, that could have this kind of crowd that goes across all kinds of ideological spectrums, diversity spectrums, party label spectrums, because he does what he was hired to do, not only for the people of Ocean View, but for the people of the city of Norfolk. And that's our friend Randy Wright. Randy, I will make these comments brief, but I got to do 2 or 3 things. One, I want to also commend my dear friend Paul Frame and all the council members who are here. I mean, I think, and I shouldn't say this, but you know, that recorder is not completely on, is it?
This one is.
As a governor senator type, you were supposed to love all parts of Virginia equally, but you gotta. I think people in Norfolk sometimes get spoiled and don't realize what a great city government they have, and how far this. I mean, I've been involved in Virginia politics for, Lord knows now, more than 20-odd years, but how far this city has come, and what things get done in Norfolk that other cities of equal size all over Virginia only aspire to do. And yeah, there are bumps in the road, there are bumps all the time. But the kind of national recognition that Norfolk has received, continues to receive, the kind of economic development, the kind of opportunity, the kind of ability to try to make sure that every part of the city is touched and participates in Norfolk's re-emergence and continued emergence is due to this whole team's leadership, and I'm proud to call them all friends. I'm proud to be here. I have to echo a couple comments Reeves was kind enough to say, talking about that article. He left out the part that Bob Porker, who I've had a great partnership, is a Republican senator from Tennessee. I remember, you know, when I asked you all to hire me, I said if I go up there, I become a bipartisan radical centrist. Still trying to do it. It's a little bit challenging, but we are making. You know, you don't read it in the newspaper all the time. But whether it's Corker and I working together on financial re-reg, or Lindsey Graham, Republican senator from South Carolina, and I now working together on energy issues. You know, they don't make all the headlines, but Washington is a pretty wacky place. Algie, where did Algie? He didn't slip off, did he? Algie, I got to tell you, man, I actually long for the days when the General Assembly was in Richmond. And I never thought, you know, Richmond looks rational compared to Washington. And for all of you who are sitting there going, you know, I kind of liked him as governor, but he's gone up there, you know, I have not gone wacky yet. You know, and there is a lot more. The headlines you read, you know, from everything from this craziness around the healthcare debate to, you know, some of the things around stimulus and other things, I can only assure you, if half of what they say on some networks and in some publications was true, nobody in their right mind would consider any of these things. I ask you, the only thing I ask on some of this stuff is a little bit of, not so much patience, but just, you know, get past the headline, dig into the details, because there's a whole lot of issues that have been put off for a long time because of Democrats and Republicans on both sides basically ignored things for a long, long time. And a lot of that's now coming home to roost, and we got to get our act together as a country. And, you know, the one point I would, on a serious note, that I would make before I get to the reason why I'm here is that things are screwy. We got a lot of problems. But remember where we were a year ago at this point. A year ago at this point, our country had just lost 6.5% loss in GDP in the last quarter of 2008. A year ago at this point, the Dow was at 6,500. A year ago at this point, we were losing 600,000 jobs a month on average. A year ago at this point, we had spent out about 400, 500 billion of your money and mine sitting out to banks to bail them out with a target. A year ago at this point, if you'd asked anybody economist around, they would have said, well, you know, we're going to be in the ditch, not for a year, but for 3 or 4 years. And unemployment is still, a year later, way too high. We still got a healthcare debate that has been embarrassing on both sides. It is not going to lead to, if this bill passes, the end of the world, but it's not also going to lead to, nirvana if it passes on the other side. It's got a lot of problems. But seeing our healthcare system could stay as the status quo is just not financially sustainable. But we look a year later, and you look, the Dow's at 10,000. We had 5% GDP growth the last quarter. We're at least flat on the economy. Virtually all of the banks have paid back some of their TARP funds. Didn't think I was going to be in the private equity business when I was a U.S. Senator. I didn't think we were going to be owning GM and some of this other junk. But and I'm not saying that things are perfect by no means, and it has been ugly to get here. But we should not lose faith that we live in the greatest country in the world. We should not lose faith that, candidly, the American people are sometimes a lot better and a lot smarter than the political leadership of both political parties. And, we all ought to make sure that as we get through these challenging times, we hang in together. And that, bottom line, is why I'm here. It's not all the time that a United States Senator shows up at a city council member's election campaign. I'm here because, Randy Wright and his much, much better two-thirds Arlene are my friends. They are my friends. We have knocked doors in his community, hotels, and this is a special kind of public servant because, you can't put a label on it. I know that makes some folks mad. Well, is he a Democrat or Republican, Independent? He is mostly for the people of his community and for the city of Norfolk, and that's more important than what political party you belong to. Yeah. And he needs to be reelected because he has also established not only what he's done for his community and what he does with Paul and the rest of the team, but what this is a national leader on transit issues. He's taken some arrows for deciding that, Norfolk ought to have rail. Well, let me tell you, we cannot, as somebody who's still got the scars from the transportation referendum 6 years ago, we can't simply build roads to get ourselves completely out of this transportation mess that we've got. It's going to take rail. It's going to take kind of out-of-the-box thinking. And Randy Wright's always been about that. So I am proud to be here as friends of Randy and Arlene. I'm proud to call them personal friends. I'm proud to be here, though, also as a former excellency, at least. Former governors, former senator. One last thing. I know that somebody introduced Algie Assanger's trying to balance the budget in Richmond. Heck, in Washington, they don't even try. But in Randy Wright, we've got somebody with business experience. We've got somebody that can read a balance sheet, that does have the vision to understand what this city and this community needs. Somebody who sticks with you through good times and bad. He's stuck with me. He's stuck with all of you. That's why you're here. Please join me in welcoming the current and future great council member, our friend Randy Wright.